Hi, today I'm going to teach you how to calculate your relationship sign astrologically, the way proper astrologers do it. And I want you to listen not to just one video, because it's not just one sign that describes your relationship. It's not that easy. Things are quite mixed always and quite complex, as you've noticed by real astrology I've been trying to teach you. It's never black and white. It's never, oh, your Aries and your partners will be always like Libras. But it's always, we look at relationship, first of all, from the ascendant sign. That's how we calculate relationship. From the seventh sign from the ascendant, or we call it the seventh house, describes your marriage partner. Most often how he'll be physically, how he'll be like persona-wise. But if you don't know your ascendant sign, you can find it by going to my website, AstroLada.com, following the link below. Or following the link below, and go to the ascendant sign calculator, enter the time of your birth correctly. Say if you're born 6:30 in the afternoon, enter it like 18:30, the European way. And once you have the ascendant sign, listen to the relationship description for the ascendant sign. Give the ascendant sign make it the first one you listen to, because it will be probably more than 40% true. You identify with more than 40% with it. And then find out your moon sign, because the moon has direct relevance to relationships as well, because the moon is the planet of emotions and feelings and vulnerability in our inner world and how we connect to others. Therefore, it's one of the most important planets for deciding relationships. And once you know the sign of your moon, then go and listen to the relationship description of your moon sign as well. It will probably give you 30% description of your partner will be like, or for some, even especially for females, because females identify with the moon much more than males, because the moon is a feminine planet and females are feminine creatures. A lot of the women can identify a lot with the description of the partnerships of the moon sign, actually, and again, the partnerships from the moon sign are again defined by counting 7 signs from the sign of the moon. So basically the opposite sign. It's always the opposite sign of the one that you have as the moon sign, as the ascendant sign, or sun sign. And also check the description of the partnership for your sun sign, especially males, because the sun is a masculine planet and males identify more with their rational, logical side, with their more, goal-oriented and active side, which is described by the moon. And a lot of women will also identify with it, because in those day and age, nowadays, women are much more in touch with their masculine side, with their active and goal-oriented, achieving side, rational side, And the sun sign is the one everyone knows. If you're born in April, you're probably Aries or Taurus. If you're born in September, you're probably Virgo or Libra. This is the one everyone knows. It will probably give you 25% the sign, the description of the partnerships that you're going to attract. But make sure you listen to the 3 of them to get the fuller picture. Some of you identify more with the ascendant sign partnership. Some of them will identify more with the sign opposite the moon. Some of you with the sign opposite the sun. But you will definitely feel the 3 sign partnerships as well. When you think about it, you will. But again, I keep saying, I think the ascendant is the most relevant one through watching through my practice in the long years. What happens if you have your ascendant in Aquarius, or if you have your moon or sun in Aquarius? Well, then your sign of relationships becomes the one opposite it. The one sign opposite Aquarius is Leo, actually. And why do we take the opposite sign to indicate relationships? Well, because opposite attracts, and it's also true in astrology. And they're very different, but at the same time, they're part of the same structure, just like on this pen. They might be sitting at the opposite direction, the 2 poles of the pen, but they're part of the same entity, the same unit. And at the same time, even though they're so opposingly different, there is an underlying similarity between them. And just like in relationship, it's important that opposite attracts, it's also important that likes attracts likes. And so there is a 50% very opposite and 50% very similar. That's why this is the perfect sign for you to attract in long-term relationship, like marriages, business partners, business partnerships, long-term relationships, And because we have lessons to learn from those opposite signs, that's why, we have to incorporate the qualities they have And if your ascendant is in Aquarius, just like mine is, the type of people will be attracting, or if your moon is in Aquarius for that matter, or if your sun is in Aquarius, you'll be often attracting people who have some planets in Leo, in the opposing sign, or who have, even if they don't have their ascendant, moon, or sun sign, or Venus in Leo, they will just on North Node for that. North Node is very much something that can, it can stimulate relationships, but that's too complex for you right now. Just focus on people who are probably Leos, who have their sun or ascendant in Leo, or even if they don't have any planets in Leo. You don't need to know their horoscope. You often notice in your life that a lot of the people you attract as long-term partnerships behave like Leos. Maybe they have a very strong, powerfully positioned sun in their horoscope because the sun rules Leo, so these people will be very much like Leos. And what will be like? What will they be like? Well, the Leo is the king. So you'll be often attracting quite powerful and confident people. And people who love to be center of attention, who need to be center of attention, who would always be demanding attention from you. They will not, because Aquarius, you as an Aquarius are quite distant sign sometimes. You need to have your own space, and you can be doing for days, you can separate yourself and doing your own things and following your own agenda, but very often you'll be attracting partners who demand attention from you, who need to tell you what happened, who need to do something fun with you always, and this way they will engage you, because Leo is a very engaging and entertaining sign, and often you'll be attracting very entertaining partners. As I said, they would like to be center of attention, and it might be a bit embarrassing for you because we, as an Aquarius moons, ascendant, or suns, we don't like to be into the center of, into the eye of the storm, so to speak. We're a bit more distant, as I said, a bit more, we like to mix with the crowds. We like to mix with equal-minded people. We don't like someone to stand out as a sore thumb, or to be so, center of attention. We're just the opposite. And Leos, the type of partners we attract, they will teach us how to be more in touch with our creative and side, how to be, they'll teach us how to be more expressive, how to express our talents and our character better in the presence of others, that we don't always merge and try and mix with the our peers. So they'll teach us how to stand out, because they themselves will be such a sparkly person and glamorous and full of energy and vivacious and excitable, and entertaining, that little by little you soak up through them the same energy, And because Aquarius, they don't act from the heart. Aquarius is a sign that is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is a very controlled planet, is aloof, is distance. Aquarius, with having planets in Aquarius, we act from the mind often, So we can seem quite impartial, but Leos are the opposite. Leo is the sign that rules the heart, and they really act from the heart. They're really partial in their opinions. They'll like someone for no reason other than that they feel it, I like this person. While we as Aquarius might be, taking a lot of mental factors into account to make up our minds, and we'll be always partial, we'll always see all sides of an argument, we'll always be impartial, and Leos are just the opposite. They're very subjective, they're very partial, and it can drive us mad as Aquarius sometimes, because we're so for equality, brotherhood, and sameness, and equal rights for everyone, and equal treatment for everyone. While Leo, the type of partners you attract, will not always treat equally everyone. They'll have people they prefer, people they like more, or activities, and they can be very negative towards the rest, but very excitable about the things or the people they like. And for you, this can be, for us as Aquarius, this can be a bit horrifying. How can he be so subjective, so personal? But they're there to teach us to act from the heart. Sometimes we shouldn't analyze everything. We shouldn't always, not everything is equal like we see it. Not everything is, detached from us so much. We have to get involved emotionally into things, and Leos will teach us, Leo type of partners will teach us how to do that. and experience whatever you're doing through your heart, not only through your thoughts, not only through aloof observations like we're used to do, you know. And they'll be very playful. They'll teach us how to be more playful as well, how to be more fun as them, how to express ourselves in a more creative way, because Leos are very creative signs. They're almost childishly creative, you know. And if you want to, you know, especially if it's your marriage partner, you can easily tickle their ego by giving them a little bit of attention, giving them a little bit of compliments, you know. They're very easy to deal with sometimes. Just try not to piss them off, try not to be too impartial, try not to treat them as equally as you treat everyone else, because a lot of us as Aquarius, we sometimes treat our loved ones as we treat our friends, because Aquarius is a sign of friendships, but Leos, they need preferential treatment, you know. So try and treat them in a more special way, as if they're special. Don't always, you know, even if you don't agree with their opinion sometimes and you think that the other person they're arguing with is right, go on their side, because this can really hurt their pride. Leo is a very prideful sign. And they can be also quite bossy. So often we would attract partners who are trying to boss us around to tell us what to do. Of course, they're the king, you know, and they need respect most of all. And they can be overly dramatic. In the worst case scenario, they're dramatic, intolerant, dogmatic, really partial, always, you know, always demanding that things happen the way they want, and very bravado, you know, overcompensating sometimes, and sensitive to criticism, you know. Just be careful. Even if it's not the worst type of Leos you attract partners, they will always be criticism sensitive. And we as an impartial observators, being Aquarius ascendant or moon or suns, can sometimes sound critical because we're just telling our opinions, but they take it personally. You know, I said everything they take personally, and you know, and but they're here to teach us to be more in touch with the heart, as I keep saying. They're here to teach us how to be more grounded, how to be more grounded in the heart, how to act from emotions more, how to enjoy life more, because Leo is the sign of enjoyment, of having fun, of creativity, of expressing yourself, not being afraid to stand out from the crowd. And this is our evolutionary purpose in this life, to learn how to stand out from the crowd, because we as Aquarius, I keep saying, we you know, we always try to be distant and observe from the outside. Now we have to get involved, you know. Now we have to get involved in the glamorous life through our partners in Leo, you know, into the more fun, exciting life, into the more creative, artistic life, into the more maybe celebrity scene, you know. Leo rules celebrities, so glamorous, you know, places for Leo kind of partners. Very often, you know, they think on a grand scale. First class is the way to go, and luxury is comfort for them. And they will teach you also about those luxury grand things, you know, and so you can live a bit, enjoy yourself, you know, be more creative, spontaneous, and fun. And of course, you'll teach them the reverse of who they are like. But we're talking about us right now. We're talking about Aquarius people. And the good news I have about you and us, all of us Aquarius who have their ascendant in Aquarius, moon or sun, is that the opposite sign, Leo, is a very faithful and loyal sign. Once you win their heart, they're there to stay, you know. They wouldn't like changes, the type of people. They won't like changes often. And often if your ascendant is Aquarius and the sign of partnerships is in Leo, then these people have just one marriage, or they stay in relationship much longer, you know. It's not one of those signs that will change all the time, partnerships, and, you know. But as I keep saying, always check also the 3 signs, because you might have some other sign of relationship that is much more erratic, which can bring the changes that I'm talking about. Well, thank you very much, and give me some feedback.